Hello, everyone. So, this week's assignment focuses on the ideas of narrative and working from photography to make a drawing of multiple figures. Go back and look at the PowerPoint if you haven't yet. There's some really solid examples of artists' drawings that include multiple figures in multiple different techniques, such as ink, graphite. So the first component of this is to think about what narrative means. And the PowerPoint should have given you a really good feel for that. Basically, it's storytelling and drawing, and it's what can be evoked by looking at it, at a completed drawing. And so for us as artists, it's really important as we progress in learning how to draw to think about what we want to communicate to an audience or to just simply express. And so the figure is a great way to do that. You can do it through other objects such as still life, landscape, but due to the fact that this is a figure drawing class, we're going to talk specifically about narrative and the figure. Basically, you can tell a different story with two people than you can with one. When you're drawing two people, you're thinking about how each figure or character is responding to the other. The presence of one figure in a space can shift the significance of the other figure totally. So if there were only one person looking sad, for example, that would be a different type of narrative than one person looking sad and another trying to console them. That would speak to this idea of sort of, community, trying to help, consolation. And so, now that you kind of have a basic idea of narrative and figure drawing, we're going to be working from photographs for this week's assignment. So, you need 2 full body photographs clothed. They can be of yourself or of other people, but I want you to pick 2 different photographs, so 2 figures. It can be the same person, but 2 different instances of that figure. And I want you to select 2 figures to form a narrative for your drawing. So it's sort of like collaging these 2 figures together, but you'll be drawing. So for this, you'll need a 12 by 18 sheet of paper, and you will need graphite or whatever other drawing medium you would like to use for this project. So this is the example that I did. Again, it's a start for a drawing. It's not a complete drawing. I just wanted to give you a sense of one example of how your drawing can play out. Again, I provided more examples in this week's slideshow, but this will be the assignment for the week. On a bigger piece of paper, I want you to spend about 2 hours working on each figure and thinking about how they can exist in this space together. You don't need to include environment unless you really want to. What's most important is that you're thinking about the dynamic of multiple figures in a space with one another, and that you're working from a photograph. As I mentioned in this week's PowerPoint, working from a photograph provides opportunities that we might not always want, right? But in some instances are really cool and interesting. They can capture emotion that we wouldn't otherwise have so long to draw and to look at, to study. They also sort of have this candid quality, or this passing sort of mistake can happen when we take a picture that allows us to see glimpses of the figure in ways we might not otherwise. So take advantage of the photograph as a format for thinking about your drawing. I want you to work into yours with value as well, as we've been talking about value in the past couple weeks, primarily in the first lesson of this online format. Obviously, mine has no value because it's a start. Add value to yours. I'm giving you a lot of time to work on this because I want it to be a really well-developed drawing in which you consider the idea of narrative closely in the work. So do something interesting. Have fun with it. You can, if you want, you feel compelled, you can add a 3rd figure, but you need at least 2 figures, and thinking about the narrative or sort of the effect that it will have on the person looking at it or you drawing it, a story that can be told through those 2 figures, using a photograph as an observational tool. You can look at this photograph on your phone, It can be one that's printed out. That is up to you. So as I mentioned earlier in today's blog post, you need to begin commenting this week, and I've said this in the emails that I sent to you with your classwork grades. You have to have at least 2 comments posted per week for the for the rest of the semester. This will go towards your homework grade. You need to have those posted by Thursday at 3 p.m. So 2 comments on other people's works. If you're having trouble commenting, you need to reach out and let me know as soon as possible so that we can resolve it before they are due. At this point, it seems like mostly everyone is all right on that front because no one's gotten in touch with me about issues otherwise. So yes, 2 comments per week on other people's work. This is a great way for you to sort of stay connected a bit with other classmates and receive feedback from people other than me, even though I'll try to continue posting and commenting on the work that you put up. Again, another reminder that this Thursday begins the weekly collection or grading of your blog posts. So you need to have everything posted from this week. So this assignment needs to be posted by Thursday before 3 p.m. Remember, it will only help you and your classmates if you post your work earlier rather than later. But the reason that I'm checking for comments later in the day is to give you time to go back, look at work, and comment as you need. So work on these, pay attention, think about body language between the 2 figures, how touch impacts one figure, right? Like how the hand holding, the significance of that motion and gesture. You can juxtapose 2 or put 2 images together to sort of communicate those ideas. Think about facial expressions, body language, all that great stuff. And again, remember, email me or post on the blog during class hours if you want immediate feedback, but I'm always here if you need to talk. All right, have a good week.